Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another LifeAfter video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Formula Plus. What is Formula Plus? Formula Plus helps you become stronger in early game and most crucial in late game. Today I will explain you everything about Formula Plus, full in-depth guide for PVE, PvP. Hope you guys enjoy. So why Formula Plus is so important? You can put Formula Plus on your gun, on your armor, and on your helm. You can also put it on your aux, which is this. Let me tell you quickly how Formula Plus on aux works. It doesn't actually work fully, it works only what the aux converts to your main gun. So for example, let's take this right here, crit chance. You can only get crit chance from Formula Plus. So if you do get crit chance on this aux, let's say for example, you roll this on your aux, you get crit chance and you get thump. These two skills will only work. If you roll this, and this for example, none of these will work on your aux. That means only crit chance will work out of all of these right over here. Increase fire rate, reload speed, attack speed, improve movement speed, swimming, blah blah blah, headshot, this, nothing else works. So only this and only the golden stats, which is crit combo, thump, agile, and long range strike. That is about it for aux. Once again, nothing else works on aux. So the ideal upgrades for your aux would be crit chance and thump. Or if you're doing Defi, what you can get is crit chance and component, drone component. Tactical cooperation, damage taken from the owner of a drone that just attacked the hostile. Basically, tactical cooperation, what it does is once you attack something and then you release a drone, when the drone shoots the enemy you're attacking, it will increase your damage, and depending what percentage you have in your Formula Plus, will increase that damage by that much. Moving on to guns. Guns are different. You can have a customized offense formula. This gun has improved movement speed 3.1%, jump suppression, and a thump. Now, only these three work. This long range strike is for sniper, but anyways, this is still good for PvP. Of course, if you don't like this, you can go choose a custom formula for yourself. So here's how it goes. For PvP, we want to get this movement speed, light firearm damage, and component doesn't really matter on gun because it doesn't really have a useful skill. But I would say go for the best would be is defense component because it has this close defense, damage taken decreased by blah 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 percentage within 5 seconds after knocking out an enemy within a range of 15. It's basically close range, good for shotguns, good for warriors too. So close defense is good, and tenacity is also a good skill for shotguns. When the damage you receive in one hit is greater than 20% of your max HP, the damage you receive will decrease by, basically you become tankier for a small period of time. As for PvP, if you want to increase your damage though, components don't really increase your damage. There's the crit combo after an enemy is down by a crit. Crit rate increases by this amount of percentage. Thump is when you kill something by a headshot, for example a zombie, and your attack power will increase. Agile is when you kill something with a headshot, your firing speed will increase, and this is for sniper. Personally, this would be for PvE only, not for PvP. So for PvP, go for defense component. Why this attack reagent is because jump suppression. Why the speed crystal? You either want increased fire rate or you want improved movement speed. Light firearm damage, I mean, we want light firearm damage, right? If you're a warrior and you want melee damage, then of course you want increased short range damage. If you're a sniper, then of course you want to get heavy firearm damage increase. Now, instead of the attack reagent, we can put in a HP reagent. Now, the only useful skill from HP reagent is crit immunity rate. That means the more crit immunity you have, the less chance to get crit by other players. The rest is basically useless. It doesn't really help much. Explosion damage reduced, no one uses these things. Grenade launchers, explosives, blah blah blah. Decrease damage from infected, doesn't really help much. Zombies will still do like 500, 800 damage to you in Defi. It depends on your combat level. Of course, it will help you reduce it a little bit, but don't expect it to reduce it by hundreds and 200s. It's still gonna do a lot. So for PvP, crit immunity rate. You can choose between tankiness or damage. So this is all up to you. You want this or this. Do note that whenever you carry a gun, for example this gun, then the Formula Plus activates because you're carrying the gun. But if you put it away, you're not gonna obviously get the effect. So it's different for each gun. For example, when I'm holding the saw blade, this saw blade gives me 3.8% movement speed. So it is best to just have a Formula Plus for your saw blade so you can move faster when holding it. Moving on to armor. The best Formula Plus for armor is, that is PvP of course, not PvE. We'll move to that later. You want to get crit immunity, HP reagent. Also, you can use this for more damage, jump suppression, and crit chance if you want to. What jump suppression does is when the players jump, you will do more damage while they're airborne. If they stop jumping, this will not work at all, so you might as well just go for crit immunity. Since a lot of people just walk and strafe, they don't really jump, just avoid that jump suppression. Crystal, of course, you want fire rate or movement speed to move faster or to shoot faster. Film, we want light firearm damage increase for more damage in PvP. And components, for armor, it is crucial to get defense components. You don't want to get this. You don't want to get combat combo, close struggle, all of that is useless. On armor, this doesn't even work in Defiant pretty much. It doesn't really increase your damage at all. So my advice, just go for a defense component, because if you get a defense component, there's this skill that says well equipped. When equipped with armor and a helmet, at the same time you can obtain an extra 2.4% crit immunity or 3.8 blah blah blah. Percentage depends on your component level, so if you have less, it's gonna give you less percentage. Higher level means you'll get more crit immunity. Do note that it says here when equipped with armor and a helmet. That means you have to have armor and helmet equipped to get that crit immunity. So crit immunity for this, movement speed, light firearm damage, and crit immunity from the component. That would be the ideal roles for your armor. Do note that armor, gun, and helmets are different. Let's move on to helmet modifications. So for helmet, you want crit immunity. Of course, you can go for jump suppression or crit chance again on helmet, your choice. I go for crit immunity. This is probably the cheapest reagent. Also, crystals, you want to go for increased fire rate, movement speed. Film, we want to go for light firearm. And component, if you go for defense component, there's not really that many good stats on your helm with defense component. Self-healing, when health is below 30%, consume 10% hunger. It will consume 10 hunger to restore some amount of HP, it depends on what level the component is. Neutralize, when an enemy player's HP is higher than yours, the damage you take will decrease by that and that percentage. And good health, when your health is higher than 80, damage from infect is reduced by that percentage. So these aren't really that great. If you take a look at this right over here, dynamic tracking increases damage on moving targets by that and that percentage. And this, what dynamic means is when someone's moving. So let's say a player is running away from you and you're chasing him. As long as he's still running, the damage will be applied to him. But when he stops moving, you will do less damage to him. Static recognition. So when someone's not actually moving and standing still, you will do more damage. Good for Defi, but when they start moving, this will not work at all. So dynamic tracking would be good for PvP. Static would be good for Defi. And that is it for PvP. Once you get all of this together, crit immunity, movement speed, light firearm, and dynamic tracking, this will do quite a bit more damage when combined with light firearm. That's like what, 10% damage increase if you're using the correct levels of your Formula Plus, plus the armor, plus the gun, jump suppression if you're actually using it, or if you're going for crit immunity. All of that is going to add up so much that you will deal way more damage. If you do not use Formula Plus in this game, what are you doing in this game then? No, but seriously, I highly suggest and advise you to use Formula Plus because it makes you stronger way more. Now let's move to PVE. Let's say you're doing Defi and you want to increase your damage in Defi. The ideal setup for Defi is you can use an attack reagent which will either give you crit chance, height suppression, or back damage increase. Now height suppression is when mobs are on a higher height than you. So for example, you're shooting the mobs from downstairs here and they're just above you. So if they have high ground or height advantage, you will do more damage to them. If they're below you though, that will not work. Back damage is when you're shooting them from the back to their head or their body. Crit chance, just more crit when shooting. For crystal, you of course want to get either this increased fire rate, or you want to get damage to infected. For film, of course, we want to get the light firearm damage. And for component, for the gun, you can put an attack component and try to get thump or agile. Now, again, you can put this on your aux, but then again, on your aux, you can keep a drone component, which is the tactical cooperation. So this will stack if you have thump and agile on your gun, and on your aux you can have different stats. Do note though, if you use thump on your gun and thump on your aux, that will not work. Now moving on to armor. There is a custom formula for armor, or you can use your own formula, but I advise using a custom formula, which is the antiviral. So if you go and put this here, put accuracy crystal, put the film, put the component, this will give you a reduced damage from zombies. This will give you increased damage to zombies. This will give you increased damage for your light firearms. And this one will give you pinch pennies. The last 10% of bullets in the magazine have an increased damage of blah blah blah. Pretty much this doesn't really work. So I guess you can put this on level 1 component. It just doesn't increase damage, man. The last bullets don't increase the damage for me. I tested this multiple times. Maybe it's just Defi. Maybe it works in rebuilds, but this did not work in Defi for me. Maybe it's just bugged. But up to you if you want to have this level 2 or level 1 or level 4. I just advise keeping this low. It doesn't really matter. Only these 3 matter here. So pretty much go for a level 5 film or level 4 if you can afford. Definitely go for high level crystals and high level reagents. And if you don't have a custom formula, that's fine. It will take a little bit of time to roll for the perfect stats, but once you have them, you're set. So what you want is, of course, again, you can go for this height suppression, back damage, crit chance, or you can go for this and get damage caused by infected reduced. I would say just go for this one, since you will do more damage. And Defi is all about the damage, not being tankiness. Of course, tankiness matters too, but you want to do a lot of damage too. And then we go for the infected crystal, increase damage to infected, place film. We want to go for light firearm damage increase. For the armor, it's very important to... There's this one skill, combat combo. Reload speed is increased by this percentage for the next 5 seconds after knocking out an enemy. So when you kill an enemy, it will increase your reload speed. This is probably the best skill you should want. You don't really want this pinch pennies or close struggles. You want this for Defi, combat combo. And lastly, there is this custom hat formula, which will give you back damage increase, will give you light firearm damage increase and damage to infected increase, and a dynamic tracking increase. This is extremely good for Defi, except because it's guaranteed rolls, you won't spend as much, but it has dynamic tracking, which doesn't really do well in Defi unless the zombies are running all over the place. Then of course it will apply the damage, but since if you're bugging in Defi and you're just standing still and the zombies are standing still, this will not work at all. So you can have your own custom formula, but of course if you take a look, light firearm damage is 3.2%, damage to infected is 4.7%. that is total of 7.9% damage increase. That is very good. But of course you can use your own formula, which would be this attack reagent. Then we want to go for the infected crystal, damage to infected increases, light firearm for this, and component, definitely attack component, and try to get the static recognition. Already explained what it is. If zombies are standing still, then you will do the damage, but if they're not, if they're moving, this will not work at all. Anyways, this is what you want regardless. If they're moving or not, it will help in Defi a lot and increase your damage. Now there's another thing. Some people use only this and this for PvP. Now I've seen some people use this. What is jump protection? What is this defense reagent? There are pros and cons for this. The pros are, of course, you'll be tanky as hell, but you will move slow as hell. So you can use this for PvP and then put in a survival crystal. You want to get reduced damage from players. If you use a film, you can use light firearm damage increase. And for this, of course, dynamic tracking. What this setup is, pretty much this will reduce the damage when you're jumping. So jump protection. If you're airborne, the player who shoots you while you're mid-air will do less damage. Or back protection, while you're being shot from the back, it will do less damage to you. That includes crits, that includes base damage, wide damage, whatever you like to call it, includes headshots. Still though, I don't think it's a good idea to use this, but the best would be crit immunity. But if you want to get tankier and receive less damage, this is an option. Although do note you will miss out on crit immunity and movement speed, so yeah. Although if you get reduced damage from players from this crystal here, it's gonna add up and it's gonna make you really tanky, especially if these are high level. That is on the helm, by the way. Now this is on armor. You can use the same thing here. Boom, this and this, but for armor, as you can see, you don't get that static dynamic damage. It's all different, so you just want to go for this for PvP and the crit immunity. And for PvP gun, I have never seen anyone use custom formula. Of course you can do that, which would be this, and then this, but the component on the gun doesn't really work well in PvP. Also, it's gonna take probably ages to get good rolls without the custom formula, so this is why I just like to have a custom formula. This is, by the way, for movement speed. This isn't PvP formula. This is for my saw blade, and you can just click research, then Yoinkin level 6 attack reagent, level 5 crystal for example, and level 4 attack component, and this can stay level 1 since it's just for sniper. Once you get all these three, it's actually gonna work pretty well. You get that movement speed and you get that jump suppression. And then guys, after you have this, after you have all of this on your PvP gear, last thing I forgot to mention, I see some people holding Zambatos in arena or Nanti or whatever, and they're just running with them. You do realize that you're missing out on block. Zambato only has 15 block, while Sawblade has 50 block. Well, not 50, it's 45, but this one is maxed out. And this one has 5% movement speed, so 5% movement speed, 50 block. When you get shot at while holding a Sawblade, it's gonna block lots of shots. While if you're running with this doodoo, you're just gonna block not as many shots as you do with Sawblade. Anyways, you wanna put Formula Plus on your Sawblade too, which would be crit immunity, HP reagent, speed crystal, movement speed, and the rest don't matter. This is all you need. Of course, you can have this, put a defense component and go for tenacity. When the damage you receive in one hit is greater than 20% of your max HP, yada yada. Damage you receive, you will pretty much, this is what you want on your Sawblade, this, and this. You don't need this film because obviously you're not fighting with your Sawblade, you're just running and you just want to get as much as crit immunity with this one, as much as movement speed and tankiness from this defense component. That is pretty much it. You don't need to worry about anything else. Once you have all of this set up, your running Sawblade, your helm, your armor, your Ox, you're pretty much set for late game. The last thing you need to do is work on high level Formula Plus. That means level 5 crystals, level 6 crystals, you name it. Last thing that I did not cover is advanced chips. I'm not gonna cover it in this video. Maybe it will be a separate video because this is going to be really confusing for some of you guys and some of you people, so might as well just make it a different video. As for gathering, there's just not much going on here. It's just gathering crystals and it increases your logging speed, mining speed. There are also survival components like this. Gathering crystals, you want to go for chance of mining extra secondary resources, chance of gathering extra secondary resources, and chance of logging extra secondary resources. You don't really want logging speed or anything else than that because it's just going to make you mine or log faster, but you won't get as many resources from critting the trees or rocks or whatever. So yeah, that would be it. I don't know really what the survival components do. If energy is full, you'll be getting more crit, I guess, while gathering. I haven't tested this at all. Pretty much just, this is for gathering, so handpicker, I don't think this is for miner or logger, so that component would be for handpicker. But these two skills are actually pretty good, so if you do get it, you can test it out yourself, see how it goes and how it works. I have never used survival components, or I've never farmed in my life, and I don't think I will ever. But yeah, I hope this video helps you guys. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your support. Leave a like on this video, leave a comment down below, let me know what you want to see in the next video, and of course your feedback is always appreciated. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching once again, take care and peace out.